Welcome to Warrior Bulletin News, bringing you accurate, reliable, and up-to-the-minute news from around the world. Stay ahead with the facts. Subscribe now and turn on notifications to keep yourself informed at all times. The Golden State Warriors. And I need you to hear every detail, because if what was revealed on that show is accurate, this franchise is about to make a move that could extend the championship window around Stephen Curry in the most exciting way imaginable. Let me set the scene with the full context, because it matters. Their Warriors just pulled off one of the most incredible play-in victories in recent memory against the LA Clippers. Steph Curry went nuclear, putting up 35 points in a performance that reminded everyone why he's still one of the most dangerous players in the NBA when the lights are brightest. Draymond Green put the absolute clamps on Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter, holding him to just 2 points, both of which were garbage time giveaways at the very end of the game. Al Horford hit 4 threes in the fourth quarter. Brandon Podsky made every 50-50 play. GP2 was a menace defensively in the first half. Their Warriors showed the heart, the fight, and the championship DNA that has defined this franchise for over a decade. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything. That like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further. So, hit it now. But here's the thing. Hard isn't enough. Fight isn't enough. Championship DNA only gets you so far if the talent level around Steph Curry isn't good enough to sustain a deep playoff run. And that's the reality the Warriors are facing. Steph can still flip the switch and play at a top 5 level as he showed against the Clippers. But he's getting older. The minutes restrictions that Steve Kerr has imposed, keeping Steph under 40 minutes, even in elimination games, tell you everything about where the franchise's head is at regarding Curry's workload. The supporting cast, while spirited and well coached, is not championship caliber in its current form. Their Warriors need another star, another genuine, proven elite-level talent who can share the creative and scoring burden with Curry and give this team a realistic chance to compete for a championship rather than just surviving in the play-in tournament. That was the backdrop for the First Take conversation this morning. The show was discussing the Warriors' outlook following the play-in win, and the debate was centered on a simple question. What does Golden State need to do to transform from a play-in team into a legitimate contender? Stephen A was making the case that the Warriors need to be aggressive this off-season, that the window with Curry is closing and that the front office owes it to one of the greatest players in NBA history to surround him with the talent needed to compete for one more championship. He was passionate and specific, arguing that the Warriors needed a dynamic guard who can create offense, score at a high level, and perform in the postseason at an elite level. Shannon was engaging with the argument, going back and forth on what kind of player the Warriors should target and whether the draft might be a better path than a trade. It was a good debate, nuanced and informed by the context of what we had just watched in the play-in game. And then right in the middle of Shannon making a point about the Warriors' draft positioning, Stephen A's phone buzzed on the desk. He glanced down and whatever he saw on that screen stopped him mid-thought. His expression changed. The debate energy vanished. He held up his hand toward Shannon and said, "Hold on. Give me 1 second." Shannon leaned forward immediately. "What? What is it?" Stephen looked up and said, "I just got a text from Shaz Karania." The studio went quiet. Shannon sat back in his chair. Molly stopped what she was doing and Stephen began reading from the text, carefully selecting what to share and what to hold back. According to Shams Charania, sources within the Golden State Warriors organization had confirmed that the team is finalizing the terms of a blockbuster trade to acquire Jamal Murray from the Denver Nuggets. Dub Nation, when I heard those words, I had to rewind the broadcast and listen again. Jamal Murray to the Golden State Warriors. One of the most clutch, creative, playoff-tested guards in the NBA, joining forces with Stephen Curry in a system that is perfectly designed to maximize his talents. The fit is so obvious, so compelling, so exciting that it almost feels like it was inevitable. Shannon started pressing for details immediately. He wanted to know about the trade framework, about what the Warriors were sending to Denver, about how the salary cap would work. Stephen shared what he could from the text, mentioning that the Warriors had been engaged in these discussions for weeks, that the front office viewed Murray as the perfect complement to Curry, and that Steve Kerr had been personally involved in advocating for the acquisition because of how well Murray's skill set aligns with the Warriors' motion offense. Molly pulled up salary cap information, showing Murray's contract, and walking through the financial mechanisms the Warriors could use to make the deal work. She noted that Murray's deal, while substantial at approximately $30 million per year, could be absorbed through a combination of sending out matching salary and using the Warriors' available cap tools. The financial gymnastics would be complex but achievable for a front office that has consistently demonstrated willingness to spend when the price is right. The debate about Murray's fit in Golden State dominated the rest of the show. And honestly, it was riveting because the basketball case for this move is overwhelming. Let me break it down for you. Start with the on-court fit between Murray and Curry because this is where the excitement really begins. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter in NBA history. His gravity warps defenses in ways that no other player can replicate. When Curry is on the floor, opposing defenses have to account for him constantly, even when he doesn't have the ball. That creates space. It creates opportunities. It creates mismatches that skilled, intelligent players can exploit. Jamal Murray is exactly that kind of skilled, intelligent player. He can play off the ball, moving without it, coming off screens, spotting up for threes when Curry draws the defense's attention. But he can also create on the ball, running pick and rolls, attacking off the dribble, and making plays for himself and his teammates when the defense collapses. That dual capability, the ability to function as both a non-ball creator and an off-ball scorer, makes him the perfect backcourt partner for Curry. Think about what the Warriors' offense would look like with both Curry and Murray on the floor. You'd have two elite guards who can score from all three levels, both of whom are dangerous enough that defenses can't leave either of them open for even a fraction of a second. The ball movement, the screening actions, the motion, all of it would be amplified by having two players of that caliber operating within the same system. Steve says motion offense, which has been the foundation of the Warriors dynasty, would reach a new level of effectiveness because the defensive attention required to contain both Curry and Murray would leave every other player on the floor with easier opportunities. The comparison to the Curry-Klay Thompson partnership is inevitable, and I think it's apt in certain ways while being different in important others. Klay was primarily an off-ball player, a catch-and-do-it assassin who could defend at an elite level. Murray is more of a creator. He can do the catch-and-shoot thing, but he can also put the ball on the floor, get to his spot, and create offense in ways that Klay couldn't as consistently. That creative element gives the Warriors' offense another dimension that it hasn't had since Kevin Durant left. It means the Warriors don't have to rely solely on Curry to create everything. Murray can shoulder that burden, especially in the fourth quarter of playoff games when defenses tighten up and individual shot creation becomes paramount. And speaking of the playoffs, this is where Murray truly separates himself from most guards in the NBA. His postseason resume is remarkable. He was the driving force behind Denver's championship run, putting up performances that will be remembered for decades. His ability to score in bunches, to hit contested shots, to make the play with the game on the line, all of it has been demonstrated on the biggest stage in basketball. For a Warriors team that still has championship aspirations, that playoff pedigree is invaluable. You can't teach clutch. You can't develop it in practice. You either have it or you don't. Murray has it in spades. Draymond Green said after the Clippers win that there's no other coach the Warriors want in big moments than Steve Kerr. And I think the same principle applies to adding players. If you're going to add a piece to this Warriors core, you want someone who has been there before, who has performed on the biggest stage, who knows what championship basketball feels like. Murray checks every one of those boxes. He's not just a talented player, he's a champion. And adding a champion to a group of champions creates a culture of winning that is incredibly powerful. I also want to address the long-term element. Curry is still playing at a high level, shooting 39% from 3 on 111 attempts per game, putting up the kind of numbers that would be career highs for most players. His on-off numbers are staggering, with the Warriors being 9.3 points per 100 possessions better offensively when he's on the floor and even better defensively. But Curry is getting older. The minutes restrictions are real. His body isn't going to hold up forever. At some point, their Warriors need to start thinking about what comes next. Murray at 29 years old provides the bridge between eras that the Warriors desperately need. He can share the load with Curry right now, taking some of the scoring and creation burden off of Steph's shoulders and extending his career by reducing his workload. And in the future, when Curry eventually transitions to a reduced role or retires, Murray can be the primary engine of the offense, the player the franchise builds around as they enter the next chapter of Warriors basketball. It's the rare acquisition that serves both the present and the future simultaneously. The source material from Shams's text as Stephen shared it mentioned that Kerr had personally advocated for the acquisition. That detail is significant. Kerr doesn't advocate for players lightly. He's thoughtful about roster construction, about system fit, about personality and culture. When Kerr identifies a player he believes can thrive in the Warrior system and elevate the team, it means the coaching staff has done extensive homework. They've studied the film. They've analyzed the fit and they've concluded that Murray is the right player for this team at this moment. Shannon made a great observation during the segment. He said that the Warriors' motion offense is one of the most sophisticated systems in basketball and that it requires a very specific type of player to thrive in it. You need basketball IQ. You need passing ability. You need the willingness to move without the ball. You need the discipline to make the right play rather than the selfish play. And Shannon said that Murray, who is having a career year in assists and who has always been a willing passer and unselfish teammate, checks every box that the Warriors system demands. And I agree. When I think about the players who have thrived in the Warriors system, they share certain characteristics. High basketball IQ, willingness to pass, ability to play without the ball, toughness, competitive fire. Murray has all of those qualities. He's not just a scorer. He's a complete player who impacts the game in multiple ways. His playmaking has improved significantly, reaching career-high assist numbers. His defense has been solid, and his competitive fire, his desire to win, his willingness to do whatever it takes in the biggest moments is the kind of intangible quality that can't be measured in statistics, but that makes an enormous difference on the court. After that incredible play-in win against the Clippers, after watching Steph go nuclear and Draymond lock up Kawhi, their Warriors showed the world that they still have the heart of champions. What they need now is the talent to match that heart. Jamal Murray provides the talent. He gives the Warriors a legitimate second star. A player who can share the scoring burden with Curry, who can take over games when Steph needs help, and who can perform at the highest level in the postseason when championships are won and lost. I keep thinking about what it would look like. Curry and Murray in the Warriors' backcourt, running off screens, running pick and rolls, operating in the half-court with the kind of creativity and precision that makes defenses break down. And in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, with the game on the line, having both of those players on the floor, both of them capable of hitting the game-winning shot, both of them wanting the moment, both of them having already proven they can deliver. That's terrifying for opposing teams. That's the kind of backcourt that can win championships.